In yesterday's video, I covered what I thought GameStop would do, how the volatility index would respond to big green days in SPY and IWM, and at what levels I'd be looking for bullish reversal on those ETF funds. And sure enough, here we are with big green days in the markets. Let's have a look at the charts. I just want to get an overview going really quick. I'm going to need some time to analyze this, so stay tuned for Saturday and Sunday's videos. I'm going to be doing more in-depth analysis then. For now, let's just have a look at what we see. On SPY and IWM, I do see big green Marubozu candles. They are tall because they are much larger than the average over the last 5 days. And we don't just have a big, tall green Marubozu candle. We have a gap here, and it's possible that we had breakaway gaps from these lows. This may be a continuation gap, signaling more upside to follow. The same thing with IWM. And we got closes above these key levels I was talking about. We got a close on IWM above 174, and we got a close on SPY above 383. I mean, this is huge. These were big moves. The RSI on both, however, is still below 50. Interesting. Interesting. This does look really, really good. Doesn't it look really, really good? And you look at AMC, there was there was a small gap up and then a dip, right? And that happened kind of late in the day, and then the price surged into the close, and so we got this really nice candle. It's not really a hammer, but it is a bullish harami, which shows bullish reversal 53% of the time per Bulkowski. This is the patternsight.com that I have above me. This is a website. It has a lot of data on it. This is what I use for reference the most. So, you know, it's looking bullish, and the volatility index is dropping, and it still has a little ways to go before it hits this uptrend. So what am I thinking? I'm thinking I need to get into the intraday charts and have a better look. This is so cool. Okay, I'm really excited, obviously, but there's so much going on. Okay, so let's start with IWM. It's just what's here. You can see that we did close above that 174 level. The RSI is pulling up, and look, the volume. This is the big thing, is that the volume was at 37 million, which is above the 30-period average at 31 million. So I'm saying that that's a high volume day. And we did close above a critical level of support and resistance, and we could be going for some gap fills. Now, what makes me nervous is look at this, even if we do close this gap up here, right? If it takes more than a week or a week to get there, the price could easily just come and touch this trend and then reverse back down. That's possible. But at least for the near term, it looks like we're heading up to that downtrend, and we're going to test it. And if it breaks out above that downtrend, then it's like big bullish reversal, get out of the way of this bull market kind of a deal. It'll be amazing. It'll be absolutely spectacular. So we'll see if we get there. I'm a little nervous though, because you can see the implied volatility was rising as the price dropped, right? And then at the low, it started to reverse and head down. And so the implied volatility is still suggesting that this is a retrace of a bearish move, which is true. You can still see that there's a long way to go before we really get back up to about 190. A long way to go before we really establish that the bulls are back in charge. This does look like a corrective bounce still. And you never know, on Monday, we could get like a complete 180, a rug pull next week, especially if quarter two data is bad. If quarter two data is bad, the GDP, if it's low, if it misses expectations, that's going to be a negative impact on the market. I just think, though, that it needs to be positive, and the markets will rally on it, personally. We're not in a recession? Rally. Even if it's like 0.1%, rally. Okay, here we go. So the MACD, you can see the averages. The long-term average is about to cross the short-term average. The histogram is still bearish. And this is why I'm hesitant. We didn't actually confirm a bullish cross here. Nope. Still not bullish on the MACD, still not bullish on the implied volatility. I mean, yeah, the volume was good. It was good, but it needs more follow through. So not quite bullish on IWM, but the bullish reversal appears to be forming. It appears to be forming. I am still expecting a rug pull, but you know, I said I'd flip bullish if these things started to happen, and so I've got to consider it, especially SPY. Look at that. How are you going to look at that and say that's bearish, right? How could that possibly be bearish? It's huge. It's a huge. Well, we did leave some gaps, right, which is a little nerve-wracking. So that's why I'm kind of thinking we might see a pop higher and then a reversal down the road. But at least for the short term, we can be a little bullish, I think. I think a little bullishness is appropriate. You can see the average volume was on par for the 30-period average, so it's not as spectacular there. The MACD still not crossing, almost. Implied volatility is still dropping here. RSI is still below 50. So again, still technically to me a corrective bounce and not a bullish reversal. Though it is like this close. We're this close. And if we do get a bullish reversal next week or early next week, it could happen all in like a single day, or just like all of a sudden, the RSI is above 50 and the implied volatility flips and we get the cross in the MACD and then the markets just fly higher. I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm expecting volatility. I'm expecting a lot of volatility. My bias is actually still bearish. Yeah, my bias is actually still bearish. I'm still not convinced that this is the bottom. Not yet, though. At least for the short term, I think we can look for some more upside. I think I've made that pretty clear. Okay, let's go to GameStop. This is what's really cool. Is yesterday I was saying that we could see, in fact, here I'll jump into the 15-minute time frame. I was saying we might push a little bit higher, bump up against this downtrend, and then find more downside. And that's exactly what happened. Like, exactly what happened. It wasn't hard to forecast a rejection of that downtrend. That's a huge downtrend. Here's the thing. If the markets push higher in general, and we don't get rug pulled next week, and GameStop can pose a bullish reversal here and close above that downtrend, that's huge too. That is huge. AMC did some pretty interesting things too. Let's go over there. Yeah, at the end of the day, what is that? What is that? Let's zoom in on it. What? Okay, so here's the thing. When AMC pops, it runs, right? So the limit to the upside here is the prevailing downtrend, which I believe is still in the low 20s. So if we do get this big push higher on Monday, big push higher, and we do actually set a bullish reversal, then yeah, we might have a big rally coming, the one that I've been waiting for a while. And if that gets an extension, it actually turns into the bottom, and it turns out we're not in a recession and things are good, it's going to be a great experience. But I'm still cautiously optimistic, because while it is exciting, there are still some things about what's going on that make me a little nervous. Like if you zoom out enough, like the markets haven't recovered. It's pretty obvious. So what do I want to talk about here? Let's just quickly go out into a 1-minute chart. And yeah, what is this? Is this a spring or is this a sign of strength? I don't know, but volume kicked in really hard at the end of the day. Implied volatility flipped, went higher, of course. I'm going to turn on after hours really quick because this is worth looking at, I think. Yeah, it's this right here. When you have, what is that? 24.2 million shares in a minute. And I understand AMC's, it was moving or being reclassified into a new index. This is, whatever. It didn't really move the price that much, which is interesting, and that makes sense. It was an orderly transfer. And when you open the times and sales, let me see here. Give me everything bigger than 5K. And there's nothing here right now, of course. Earlier, there were 2 orders for 24.2 million. And I thought that was interesting because they occurred in this candle here, but you can see this candle actually has a volume of 24.2 million. So how could 2 orders be in, and then it's like, wait, did the price move? And it's like wait, so those shares traded. I don't know. I don't want to speculate. I don't know. I'm just saying it was weird and it did catch my attention. Okay, so that's IWM, SPY, GameStop, AMC. Wow, what's going on? There's something else I wanted to cover too, because it was just, let's just go out into the AMC daily really quick. Oh, I remember what it was. I wanted to show my day trades, and I figured out I could go like this and pull this up. And here are my trades for today. I actually traded puts today at a profit again. I'm thinking about keeping track of these trades because, I don't know, it's fun. I day trade, it's true. And when I see the opportunity, I hop in, and it's like, I want to quit day trading. But then I still had shares of Sundial in my account, so I wrote calls against them, and then I traded on the cash I got as premium. And so I'm up. So I started with 32, and then I worked up to 48, and now I'm at 68. So I'm crawling my way up. I mean, it's not really a lot of cash, right? It's like nothing, which is play money. But I'm doing pretty good. So maybe I'll just keep going on this run and see, maybe I'll chart it out. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll pay myself. I don't know what to do. I don't know what I'm going to do about my day trading habit. But you can see that I did trade some puts today, and I did pretty good. Let's see. I bought a $12 put at 16, a $12.50 put at 29, and I sold that $12.50 put for 54, and sold a $12 put for 14. So you can see I actually lost a couple dollars on that $12 put, but the gains I made in the $12.50 put were solid. I entered into those trades. Let's see here. As the price was climbing and it started to turn down, you can see. Well, okay, let me turn off these extra hours here. There we go. Like the price did come up to the bottom of this ascending broadening wedge, which I was expecting, and volume did, peter out. And so I said, hey, yeah, that looks like a reversal. And it was just really interesting to see the price do what it did today. So what I did is I drew a couple of trend lines from this bottom. This is the most true trend line. This one right here. Let's make it a little bigger here. That's the most true trend line, but as you can see, the price was losing steam at a pretty predictable rate here, and then formed a breakout from that pennant, and then formed another pennant. But this looks more like a base than anything else. There's definitely some accumulation going on here, and then boom! I mean, that's nuts. It's still way too early to say how high that may go, but let's just talk really briefly about what may happen. Let's go to the trend line study. So yeah, when you zoom out enough, you can see that there's really nothing to be all that excited about. Like the price is still super low in terms of its 52-week average and whatever. Seriously, we're still in this congestion zone, right? And it's possible that this pennant here there's actually a larger pattern here, a triangle, I should say, a symmetrical triangle, and maybe the top of it is just right there. You never know. This could all just be an expression of the same consolidation. If this does pop up out and higher, 1425 and then 1618 are going to be the two first resistance zones. And then this is the prevailing downtrend right here. This is where I would expect AMC to run to if it's going to make another big wild pop, like when it did to 34. I expect the next high to be somewhere down here and then consolidate. Maybe go watch my short squeeze theory video if that happens. This is the trend line that I'm using to say, hey, this is probably the first pit stop along the way. Anyway. So it was a really big day today, and I do need time to digest this information and do some more analysis, do some Elliott wave charting as well. I think that my videos on Saturday and Sunday are going to be pretty interesting. I'm going to be looking at SPX, gold futures, cryptocurrencies, and maybe I do something a little extra as well. So stay tuned for more videos. If you like the content, please subscribe. Happy trading.